Okay.
Hey everybody, Zach Martin here, Kids That Serve Dads, doing the NonCustodials live. Here we are today. This is our first edition of the parents in our states going through family court. So always my partner in crime, Alicia Bullock, right here. And then she's watching you. And my friend and your friend, Chris Twiggs. So Chris is...
Welcome, Chris.
Yeah, buddy.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on and being here with us. It's a blessing. So I kind of want to give a little background. Are you cool with me give a little background into you and how I know you and stuff?
Yeah, for sure.
It's my show. I'll kick you off if I don't. So, but
Nice.
I met Chris when I was coming up here when I was in law school and my last year, and I was looking at what I was going to do for work and stuff, and there was this great daycare that popped up, and I think that I'd be a great daycare provider. And so I called Chris up thinking that that would be a cool job to do. And I could run my law practice and Kids That Serve Dads all from this daycare. And I have kind of a vision how it would fit into the ultimate goal. And so it's like a perfect opportunity. And because I have so many these random ideas, I got to meet Chris, and he was my realtor for that property. And we just hit it off, and we talked about some of our shared experiences in family court and
Is Chris are you still a realtor? Sorry.
I am. Yep. Absolutely.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
If you're in
That's funny how life works.
One in the area.
Yeah. It all started with and it all started with Zach clicking on a Facebook ad is where it came from. Yep.
Nice.
Facebook jockey. So and so we hit it off, and we've had a good time, and now Chris is on Kids That Serve Dads board. Full disclaimer, and he's helping me get these things started here in Rapid City and getting a lot of momentum moving. And so I cherish this man. I know that he's been great in my life and a huge support and a good friend, and he's a great dad, and he loves his girls. And so I wanted to bring him on. We're gonna do more like this one. The intention is to have dads from Wyoming and moms from Wyoming and South Dakota, where Alicia and I are working on changing laws, and Chris is part of the movement here also. And we're working on changing these laws and helping to bring awareness. And so this is an opportunity for us to step out there, get to know some parents and their different stories that they have going through family court and how that looked and how their parenting experiences has changed through their experiences with divorce and separation and trying to be a parent. So we're just going to dive into it today, and thanks for humoring me as I ramble through that intro. Chris, let's just start off tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell me what you do and where you work at and what you love about it.
So I'm a realtor. Me and my business partner Matt own a team here based out of Keller Williams in Rapid City. We've been a realtor for 5 years almost exactly now, so going pretty well. I beat the odds. Apparently like 87% of realtors fail their first couple of years, so seems to be working all right. But
that's good.
Do a little property management, got my fingers in a cleaning company, that kind of thing. So just try to stay busy and serve my clients the best I can. In my early 40s, I've got 2 teenage daughters. One is 15, about to be 16, and then the other one just turned 13. So, got my hands full there, but great kids. Yeah.
God bless you.
Yeah.
2 teenage girls. Yeah.
Me and my oldest just went to a concert in Des Moines last 2 weeks ago.
What'd you guys go see?
Pierce the Veil.
Never heard of it.
Yeah,
Pierce the Veil, yeah.
Yeah, are you familiar? Yeah.
I am.
They are rock stars, man. Total rock stars. It was a great show. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. I'll have to check them out. Pierce the Veil. Never heard of it. It's not my normal style. So I'm like Key Glock
Zach's
is my thing right now.
Rap.
That is true.
Rap.
That's true.
Right there with you, Zach.
My son likes rap too. We like jam out together. He's like, Dad, put on this song. And I was like, great choice, son. Wow. I don't know where you got your music taste from, but I like it. So
Nice.
it's all like
Nice.
motivational music too. He's like, if it doesn't have good words that I can sing, he doesn't get down. So awesome. So that was a cool trip. How do you and your daughters go on trips like that very often?
No, not as often as I would like, for sure. It's it's just hard to get away with business and school and so on. Yeah.
Yeah.
My oldest is homeschooled, but youngest is still in public middle school here in Rapids. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, let's dive into a little bit. I want to kind of go over some information about your family before you got separated. How was raising your daughters when you were married?
Difficult. I was married 16 years. Vast majority of it did not go well. Certainly we're not on the same page parenting wise. Vastly different opinions on parenting. And ultimately it was one of the main issues, which is where I finally ended up filing for divorce, was parenting. And that was, so I was married 16 years, been divorced 4 years almost exactly. So that's
what were some of the things that came up with parenting styles that you guys had that were different?
I firmly believe my kids should go to school. And that opinion wasn't shared on the other side. That's definitely been the biggest issue, is in encouraging and enabling truancy. To the point where I probably should have had law enforcement step in, and because encouraging truancy is a crime, right? You have to educate your children. Educational neglect is a thing, and
Right.
so that's the battle I've ran into basically since kindergarten for my oldest. To be fair, more like second or third grade for my oldest. Been fighting the issues of truancy until finally this last school year ended up with state's attorney's office from South Dakota, getting involved and ended up pulling her out and homeschooling her. So.
Okay, so it was. I'm just sorry, Zach. Go ahead.
For it. Go for
I
it.
was just wanting to make sure I was understanding the situation. It's basically the child not wanting to attend school at all, or is it more child doesn't want to attend school, mom wants to homeschool, or?
So yeah, more like the child ended up not wanting to go to school, as a lot of kids do, right? She had problems for a while where she was getting bullied and that kind of thing, but instead of helping her through those issues and having, controlling her emotions and overcoming adversity, and sometimes we just have to do what we don't want to do in life, right? It's the way it works.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, it's more like pulling her out of school, claiming illness. Yeah, claiming that she's sick when she wasn't, abusing the healthcare system, getting doctor's notes for illnesses that weren't there, so that the school would back off. Now, I'll give you an example. So the CDC says that the average child from birth to age 18 seeks urgent medical care 5 times in their whole childhood, 5 times.
Wow.
And in 2019 alone, my oldest daughter went to urgent care 13 times. So and all during the school year, never in the summer. And then it was like 16 times in 2021, but only once in 2020 when school was out of session. Well, so you can see that pattern, right? And each one of those urgent care visits counts for basically a week truancy, because you call in sick 4 days, and then the school says no, we need a doctor's note. Well, here's your doctor's notes, and then right. So yeah,
I get it. Okay, sorry, I wanted to make sure I understood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think
Yeah, for sure.
there's lots of going
Wow.
on. So, so you, when you guys got married, you guys are kids, right? So you guys had like
Yeah.
no discussion about like all these important things when you're getting married. Like, hey, do you think your kids should go to school?
Right. Yeah. None. Nope.
Yeah.
I was young and dumb and in love, and yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing how we do that kind of stuff to ourselves and like don't have these real discussions about like very important issues that will be coming up and that they are just not discussed. What do you think? When did you recognize that was going to be a problem in your guys' relationship?
But about 2 years after the first kid was born. Yep.
Oh, well.
Yep. Where we had a lot of differences of opinions on doing chores and that kind of thing. Because even 2-year-olds, they can start helping clean up after themselves and that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
And we were just completely different page, just not even in the same book, much less the same page, right? So yeah.
That's really hard. And so
so my response to knowing that we weren't on the same page was to go ahead and have a second kid with her, because that's logical. Oh yeah,
that was a great choice you made, Chris.
Takes
You know what?
two.
Right?
Takes two.
You know what?
Yeah.
This is not going right. I'm gonna double down.
Right. Yep. That's life for you. That's the way it works.
I mean,
As much as some people might want to deny it, there's women have a little bit more control over that than they probably want to admit to.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was her decision too. Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
She probably knew. And you know what? I think a lot of people think that, you know what, if I have a kid, that will fix our relationship. We can focus on this person and dote over them and care for them, and all that will give us another thing to be focused on, and it won't, all these other things will go away because of that experience. And would you advise that to anybody else? Would you advise like doubling down in your relationship like that to anybody else?
Absolutely not. After that whole experience, I'm a big believer in I call it living in reality, like being brutally honest with yourself of where you're at in life, in the relationship, and whatever. Because buddy, did I lied to myself for a very, very long time. So yeah.
It's terrible. Sorry guys, the sun is in your
face. Yeah,
and now I look like white.
I didn't get stuff. So when you guys separated, how was the experience? What was the experience like when you guys separated?
It was okay. So I planned the divorce for about 4 years. Worked with an attorney on that. It was very, very careful and very deliberate on making sure it went smoothly, and I'm grateful it did. I mean, the divorce went pretty smooth. It was a very stressful time, and it took about 7 months total to get it done, I think. But I had all my ducks in a row then before I officially filed, and so yeah, it went smooth. There was a couple of skirmishes during it, mostly over finances, over that kind of stuff, but nothing major. One of the big things I did was we're a self-serve state, so I could serve her the divorce papers, so I did, and so I served the papers and told her right then that I am not leaving the house. I'm not even leaving our bedroom. I'm sleeping in my own bed. I'm not leaving at all until I have a signed custody agreement, because I'm not going to get accused of abandoning my children, right? And then the other thing I had was we had a year where we were separated, and we ended up getting back together. But during that year separation, we had 50-50 custody split. We had no child support. We had what we have now. And so I had that all documented on how well that worked for a year. That's awesome. And that was my fallback position if she wanted more than 50-50 was, well, we've already proven this works. It works good for the kids. It works well for us. that was my fallback position. So, yeah, but she didn't fight me on it at all, which I'm grateful for, and I'm grateful to her for that too. You know, as
Yeah.
difficult as co-parenting with her has been, or parallel parenting, I should say. I'm still, like I said, very grateful the divorce went okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you called it
Wow.
parallel parenting. So I would like
Yes,
to hear more
sir.
about your experience about parallel parenting. I think there's a lot of negative connotations, especially in the court system and especially in Rapid City. So tell us about how good that's been working for you and why it's been the path you've chosen.
So, yeah, divorced 2019. I went parallel parenting in summer of 2020. And that was on advice from my attorney at the time, and then also my therapist, because I've been doing therapy for the last 4 years, and she advised to go parallel parenting just for my own mental health.
Is that Deb?
So was that what?
Is it Deb as your therapist?
No. My therapist's name is actually Norma.
Okay.
Who's Deb? I'm not following.
She's a therapist here in Rapid City, and she believes in parallel parenting. I
You
don't hear a
shouldn't
lot of
ask
therapists.
people that, Zach.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
it's a personal question. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know.
No.
This is a personal interview right now. We want to know the dirt. Who's a good therapist? I think parallel parenting is a great way to have things, and for a lot of people who are in conflict and can't get along, you're a great dad, and she's probably a fine mom most of the time, and you guys don't get along and you don't agree on things, and if you don't have to talk to her,
So-
then you're better, right?
Yeah. So how to clarify that? So parallel parenting, of course, the way I operated with it came from an article on choosingtherapy.com, I think is where I read it. And basically what they talk about with parallel parenting is you strip down the co-parenting to three things, three basic items. That is, are the children safe? Are they healthy? And are they educated? Right? And the article is talking about if you still have troubles with just those three items, then you have the obligation to your kids to get either the courts or law enforcement involved anyway, right? So you strip it down to just the basics, and that's what I did. So I have a pretty strict no voice to voice, no face to face contact policy with her. Like unless it's a 911 style emergency or we just cannot avoid it, it's a text or email only. And I kind of built from there. Kind of started from that position. We're not going to have joint birthday parties with the kids. We're not going to have Christmas together. We're not, none of this. There's no coordinating bedtimes for the kids. Of course, they're old enough now. It doesn't matter, but there's no coordinating bedtimes. There's no coordinating what time they eat dinner so that things are consistent. It's basically we parent separately. We just make sure the kids are healthy and safe. So,